Oh, hello there, adventurer. We didn't notice you there. Are you ready? Because our adventure continues. Welcome back to our third pulse-pounding expedition into the untamed wilds of Soulframe. As me and Rook pressed on, our search for the magic wolf took a sudden, bizarre turn. The air grew heavy, the trees themselves seemed to recoil, and a palpable sense of dread washed over us. It was then that we saw it, something vast, something alien, something that defied any description we could muster. It loomed in the distance, a shape that shifted and writhed, radiating an aura of ancient malice. We had no idea what it was, but the land around it pulsed with a dark, unsettling power. We knew, with a certainty that chilled us to the bone, that we had to explore. This was no longer just a hunt. It was a confrontation with something far more profound, something that threatened the very essence of Soulframe. The air grew heavier with each step, thick with that chilling, evil feeling. As we crept closer to the colossal, indescribable thing, its immense form began to resolve into something terrifyingly familiar, yet utterly alien. And then, at its base, we saw it, a massive obsidian bell, etched with ancient foreboding symbols. Without hesitation, acting on instinct rather than reason, I swung my blade and struck it. The sound that erupted was not the clear chime of metal, but a deafening, guttural groan that vibrated through the very earth. I shouldn't have done that. From the shadows, stirred by that dreadful sound, a colossal figure began to emerge, clad in rusted ancient armor. It was the Mendicant King, and he was most certainly not friendly. His eyes, burning with malevolent amber light, fixed on us, and with a rasping command he summoned his army, skeletal warriors and shadowy constructs rising from the cursed earth around him. There was no escape. We had to put our best into this. Side by side, me with my trusty sword cutting through the spectral horde, and Rook unleashing torrents of crackling magic bolts, we met the charging army, preparing for the fight of our lives. The Mendicant King's army seemed endless, a tide of malice crashing against our desperate stand. The fight wasn't minutes long, it was an endless blur of clashing steel and crackling magic, stretching on for what felt like an eternity. Every swing of my blade, every bolt Rook fired, was born of pure instinct and dwindling stamina. We moved as one, a desperate dance of parries and dodges, strikes and blasts. The air grew thick with the dust of shattered bone and the acrid scent of spent magic. We fought until our muscles screamed and our lungs burned, until the line between us and them blurred into a chaotic, desperate struggle for survival. But through it all, our synergy was outstanding. My sword became an extension of Rook's magic, deflecting blows as his bolts tore through the King's reanimated legion. He covered my flanks while I drew the King's focus. I created openings while he unleashed devastating spells. It was a perfect, desperate dance, born of shared peril and an unyielding will. Finally, with a coordinated, powerful strike, my blade finding a chink in his ancient armor, followed by a concentrated blast of Rook's magic, the Mendicant King let out a final, chilling shriek. His massive form crumbled, dissipating into dust, and the oppressive, evil feeling that had permeated the land began to recede. We had defeated the king and freed the land of his corruption. Exhausted but victorious, we stood in the quieted ruins, knowing a significant evil had been vanquished. We decided to camp and gather our strength. Still, our resolve remained unshaken. We weren't going to let go of our search. The answers were out there, somewhere in the vast, untamed expanse of Soulframe, and we were determined to find them, no matter how many more enemy camps we had to clear, how many more villages we had to liberate, or how many more close calls we faced. The mystery of the wolf, the red lamp, and the very nature of our enemy burned brighter than ever, pulling us onward into the heart of this enigmatic world. So long, adventurers.